Netflix has been investing a lot in animated programming, and one of the most successful series to come out of that is BoJack Horseman. Created by Raphael bob-waksberg, the show is primarily a Hollywood satire, but also slips in some character drama as it details its titular character. The result is a show where it took some surprising turns I did not expect, and the comedy also does not go for easy humor a lot of the time. Sometimes the show even delves into some dark realities. BoJack Horseman centers around a horse who had a Full House-style sitcom in the 90s and is still trying to recapture that former glory. He's a frequent alcoholic with many personal demons and flaws that he attempts to overcome through the course of the show. I've mentioned before how the Netflix format allows television series to go in directions they might not be allowed to go in on a network or cable channel, and BoJack Horseman is no exception, as it seems more intent on character development than including jokes every second. The show also does not attempt to make us sympathize with BoJack or give him a free pass for his actions just because he's the lead protagonist of the series. Sometimes he's right about something, and at many other points the supporting characters will rightfully call him out for certain things he does. That's rather refreshing, as television show creators are often told to have their leads be likable so the audience will tune into the next episode. And the way BoJack is written also allows other characters to be further developed too. At first glance, Todd seems like he'll be your standard slacker character with wild ideas. And while that's certainly a major aspect of his personality, the show eventually fleshes him out and provides deeper glances into who he is. Similarly, the ever-cheerful Mr. Peanut Butter seems like just a happy-go-lucky dog who exists to contrast with BoJack's cynicism, but the series eventually shows his own flaws. With that said, BoJack Horseman is still an incredibly funny series, especially when it makes fun of Hollywood itself. Oscar season, celebrity worship, the treatment of child actors, and even the rise of streaming services are tackled. The show also takes advantage of its all-animal cast with some clever background gags. Alright, I should mention the animal thing. So this is a universe where humans live alongside anthropomorphic animals who also happen to have human attributes, like hands and walking upright. The series also depicts several relationships between animals and humans and is treated as completely normal. After the initial shock of wondering why BoJack does not have hooves, or why snakes have arms, I got used to this hybrid world, developed by Bob Waksberg and designed by Lisa Hanawalt. When BoJack Horseman does address the animal nature of the cast, it's mostly played for comedy and many humorous sight gags. The show also has a lot of fun taking celebrities and turning them into animal versions of themselves. Yep, this series really loves its puns. I also appreciate that while BoJack Horseman is an animated series for adults, it largely avoids sophomoric gags common in such programs. Bodily function and other gross-out jokes are mostly kept to a minimum, as the writers prefer to focus on character quirks. One of my favorite minor characters is Wanda, an owl who wakes up from a 30-year coma, and the writers come up with some clever jokes that comment on how much has changed in that time, and also explore what it might be like for someone to get accustomed to a new world, changing pop culture, and continually evolving technology. Even the more surreal ideas managed to work quite well, including J.D. Salinger coming out of reclusion to create an outlandish game show. BoJack Horseman will also experiment with its format. One of the best episodes, Fish Out of Water, has BoJack go under the sea. Not only does it cleverly depict how underwater creatures like fish live their lives in this universe, but they elected to do almost the entire episode without dialogue. I love it when media chooses to tell their stories through visuals, and this episode does not merely use this device as a gimmick, but rather as a way to comment on BoJack's character. Meanwhile, another episode, Free Churro, goes in the complete opposite direction by showing BoJack giving a single, unbroken monologue. Will Arnett, the voice of BoJack, does a superb job with carrying the episode, and through its entire 25-minute runtime, I never found myself checking how much time was left. The show also uses flashbacks superbly well to further develop the characters, and a few episodes even set decades prior, allowing for further humorous commentary and making fun of the fads and popular culture of the day. Then you also have episodes that have no jokes at all, especially the ones that go into BoJack's family history. The show is not afraid of having downer episodes that end on an upsetting note rather than a funny punchline. There are episodes where I've sat quietly and reflected on what I just watched. The show continually throws tragic curveballs at not just BoJack, but also his agent/manager, Princess Carolyn, aspiring writer Diane, and Mr. Peanut Butter. Like I said, BoJack is not meant to be sympathetic, and those who think he is somebody to look up to are probably looking at BoJack Horseman through the wrong lens. However, there are those times when life really gives him a low ball, mainly related to his childhood. There's a running theme in BoJack Horseman about parenthood, and how the way one is raised affects them later in life. The show is also astute about the darker demons of Hollywood that other series might shy away from. BoJack Horseman actually touched on sexual misconduct among industry elites 2 years before the Weinstein scandal erupted and the Me Too movement became a big news story. The episode BoJack the Feminist also takes direct aim at an actor known for his drunken and racist tirades. Names are changed, but it's pretty obvious who they're referencing. I started watching BoJack Horseman with the assumption it would be a funny animated comedy with talking animals. And it absolutely is that. But I don't think I was quite prepared for the roller coaster it would take me on. Through those 5 seasons, I found myself conflicted on how to feel about BoJack, and that's a great thing. There's also a lot of clear thought put into this world, and events of previous episodes even have an effect on later seasons, and I like seeing that kind of continuity in television series. That Netflix is willing to finance a show that continually takes jabs at Hollywood and even the powerful people who live there is quite something. While it has been rerun on Comedy Central, BoJack Horseman is the kind of show that might only have been possible on Netflix. See you next time.